Hi guys. So I'm going to do a weird and smutty little book haul. This is not my monthly book haul. I have that still coming. I wasn't able to do that today due to circumstances because life. But I will get to it. The monthly book haul for July, that's coming by this weekend. So if you're interested, let me know. I know it's two book hauls. You're going to hate that. I've been told how much you guys hate book hauls. So sorry, apologize for doing too many book hauls again. I just kind of had these here where my monthly ones I can't get to for a couple of days. So long story, not important. In any case, this is what I have here. It's going to be kind of a weird and, like I said, smutty book haul. So I thought I'd share some stuff with you. And I'm going to start with the fact that I was actually sent a couple of books by an author. I'm going to start there. And we have Wigglers by Tony Arnold and Peppy Stories by Tony Arnold. So I'm not going to be able to get to take a deep dive into these and take a look into them until probably after Pulp Fest. This is something, though, I thought when I got these that Chris over at Liminal Spaces and Virgil at Literally Books might get a kick out of. So maybe I'll tag them and they can see. So yeah, Wigglers and Peppy Stories, which I guess is a short story collection by Tony Arnold. He also was nice enough to send me an ebook of a werewolf book for my werewolf project, and thank you, Tony, for that. If you see this down in the comments, feel free to mention where you can get your books in case somebody wants to take a look. Always feel free to do that if I talk about your books on the channel, to comment below, and give information. Yeah, just to let people know in case they check the comments. But anyway, yeah. Wigglers. See the back? And Peppy Stories. I love when authors send me their books to take a look at. It's only happened a few times. I have another one coming from a sci-fi author, but I do appreciate it. All right. So I did pick up Solar Lottery from Philip K. Dick. This is Philip K. Dick's first book, his first novel he ever put out. And I thought about it because I actually already have Starship by Brian Aldiss. This is his first book, also known as Nonstop, renamed. So I thought maybe later into the winter, as part of my sci-fi stuff, I would do kind of a video where I do both of these at the same time, since they're both, first novel videos or first novel books. You know what I mean? And do a video on that just for fun. And yes, everything Philip K. Dick does is a little bit weird. I have Chris Strange's Mayday, a kaiju thriller. This is actually a hard-boiled detective kaiju book, and that caught my attention. So yeah, that's definitely weird, and I'm there for it because, well, I like hard-boiled detectives and I like kaiju. So I want to get to that soon, as soon as I can. But it's definitely sounded interesting to me. We won the war, but can we survive the night? Sounds fun. Now, how to talk to your cat about gun safety. I don't know about you, but my cats are completely irresponsible with their firearms. They leave them everywhere. The dogs keep getting into them. They're not chew toys, but the cats don't care. So I thought this would be educational. I could read this and then pass the information along to my cats. It sounded like a plan. Actually, another thing I want to do is I have a bunch of humorous cat books because I give a lot of attention to dogs. I wanted to give the cat lovers something, so I have a bunch of humorous cat books I'm going to go through and do a video on. So this is one of them. I picked up a December 1938 reprint of Thrilling Wonder Stories. This is a literal page-for-page reprint from the original book. Maybe not the back, but the inside. And these are available. You can find these online. This one I particularly wanted. It caught my attention as some of the material in it intrigued me. As you can see, like, it really just, it reprints the entire thing. The entire magazine. All the ads and everything. But this one had some stories that caught my attention. And if you're patient with me, I'll find them. Sorry. I know how exciting this is. But there's a Star Parade by Henry Kuttner is in there. And also, he's probably in a lot of these, to be honest. The Loot of Time by Clifford Simak. I don't know if you saw, I just recently did a Simak collection video, so one more short story I can add to my collection. But the giant ant on it, definitely weird, definitely cool. I love giant creatures. All right. So regarding my Wolfman project, I managed to get a copy of this, The Wolfman by Nicholas Picciero. How do you say it? Picciero. Love the little claw marks down here. I don't know if you can see them. That's why I do things on the table. I'm doing it upright today, and I'm surrounded by my stuff and feel claustrophobic. I prefer to do it facing down on the table so you get a better look at the books. But this is this is weird for other reasons, not necessarily good reasons. This is out of print, but this is the only book Nicholas Picciero ever put out, and he was a auxiliary police officer in New York City, and after he put this out, he was killed in the line of duty. So this is the only book he has, and like I said, it's out of print. And I thought, you know know how I get about this stuff, and I like to show off authors, and especially when they've had, when there's tragedy involved, and I want to give shine a little bit of light on author. So this way I get to show off an author and a book that doesn't get a lot of attention and add it to the Werewolf Project. So, it's just something that I wanted to, it's just something I wanted to read and give a little attention to. But yeah, there's Nicholas Picciero. Hopefully this is all focusing because I cannot see the back of the camera. But, so, yeah. Wolfman. It'll be in my werewolf project probably this year, probably maybe in September, but it's going up pretty soon. So this is another out of print book that's very, very weird. Kill Test by Graham King. I was lucky enough to get a very good copy of this. It's hard to find. More expensive now than it was when you originally bought it at $9. But there's this is kind of came off of the Rollerball murders as well. He took inspiration from that short story, which of course became Rollerball. And this just was very weird. It sounded, it's like Running Man and Rollerball kind of combined in the one. Yes, it's already happening, he continued. In America, people are actually being killed for fun, for entertainment. If you thought the gladiatorial business folded up with the fall of Rome, think again. People are being paid huge amounts of money to kill each other, and in the most indescribable ways. Not world heavyweight boxing, but world heavyweight killing. That's the new sport. So yeah, it's kind of you've seen the concept before, televised, murder for profit, and this one is an old school one. It's out of print. It's by Graham King, and the subject is weird, definitely, but I heard about this and I had to have it. This is so up my alley, it's ridiculous. So look for that in the future on the channel. All right, this isn't exactly weird, but I did have it available to show you when I got it. This is the Complete Continental Ops book. It's all the Continental Ops stories by Dashiell Hammett in one. So now I have all of those. But it's hard to do with this camera like this. Anyway, looking forward to that. Now, here was something that I came across that I could not pass up. I saw this book, and it was I thought it was a bit overpriced. And it's an independent author, but it was worth the effort. And I picked this up, and this is something I want to get to And check out, because he's got a second book in the series and a third one that isn't out yet, but it's called Saint the Terrifying by Joshua Moore. It's a Viking punk saga. Let's see. In the first installment of Joshua Moore's Viking punk saga, a West Oakland musician acquires a new name and new calling, chasing down a gang of thieves. Saint the Terrifying turns a gritty urban detective story into stuff of legend. Saint's an ex-con still coming to terms with his origin story. Raised in the wilds of Norway by an artisan father, famed for his glass-blown birds, Saint trained daily in ancient Norse martial arts with a bear as his sparring partner. One day, his father makes a critical mistake, forcing Saint to leave his home forever and move to San Francisco. Years later, and fresh out of prison, Saint finds himself immersed in the Oakland punk music scene. On stage, he's struggling to find his identity as a guitar player in a mediocre band. Off stage, his uniquely Norse skill set suddenly turns Saint into a one-eyed punk gumshoe after sinister thieves start targeting local bands' gear. But it is only when Saint meets Trick Wilma, the powerhouse lead singer of another better band, that he begins to see the glimmer of salvation in her eyes. Propelled by a broken Baroque punk language, Saint the Terrifying examines tensions between community and individual identity, social activism, and vigilantism, while taking the reader on a roller coaster ride of hard-boiled twists and hardcore music. Saint is a badass protagonist. The answer that answers the question, what if Johnny Rotten had a baby with a rock? I saw this and I about lost my shit. Punk music with Norse, it's just, yeah. This, I'm going to read this as soon as I can. This is absolutely amazing. Joshua Moore, if you see this video, send me your next book. I want to read it. The third book's coming out. I'll proofread it for you. This sounds absolutely fascinating. I'm going to read this soon and review it on the channel. It's a must. So, Saint the Terrifying by Joshua Moore. Absolutely up my alley. This is nonfiction, but it's still kind of weird. Greek fire, poison arrows, and scorpion bombs. It is a true history of biological warfare and weird weapons that were used in real life throughout history. It's by Princeton Press, I believe it is, because I see the P on there. Yeah, Princeton Press, from Princeton. Adrienne Mayer. This is a revised copy. She updated it. This woman, it's funny because she wrote this originally after 9/11, and then it came out and she was going through cancer treatment when this came out, and then she revised it during COVID. I mean, Jesus, woman. But yeah, I love nonfiction, I love history, and weird weapons. Yeah, that's going to work for me, so can't wait to check this out. I'll read through this slowly, a little at a time, and definitely looks fun. And I did pick up Gorky Park by Martin Cruz Smith. I finally found it. And that's the weird thing about this book, is how hard it was to find. This book has sold over 3.25 million copies, and I could not find it. Not every single one of my local Barnes & Nobles within 50 miles, not one of them had it in the store. And Amazon didn't have a normal copy. They had some weird paperback copy they were selling for over $30. So this book, which is a bestseller and has been consistently bought and is sought, was not on any shelf anywhere. I could not find it in any bookstore anywhere. My used bookstores didn't have it. He completely sold out of it. So I eventually had to pre-order it from Barnes & Noble and have it sent, and it cost way too much, but I finally found it, and that's why it's weird. Speaking of weird, I do read ebooks occasionally, and I picked up some ebooks that I'm going to check out, which I don't know if you can even see these. Peter Cudden's Dark Beauty First Contact. Tell me that don't look weird. So, like I said, I'm going to get into these hopefully soon. My reading should really pick up after Pulp Fest. That's the plan anyway. Samuel Brower's Something in the Walls. Stop it. which is a Lovecraftian pulp horror. That looks fantastic. And hopefully you can see these. And speaking of weird, I have decided, I don't know if you guys know News from the Elder, but he wrote a book. This is his John Chapman short stories called Dark Matter. And John is weird. He is about as weird as he can get, but in the best way. He's a lot of fun. You're probably already watching his channel if you know me. News from the Gelding. Excuse me, I said Elder. News from the Gelding. So, check out his channel. And I'm going to read his book and review it on here. So, yeah. So, anyway, adding to my weird stuff, I added some on my trusty Kindle. Now, I promised some smut. And you're here for the smut, aren't you? Admit it, perverts. I say that with love. All right, so I did just randomly, by the way. I had this before, and I picked up a new copy because I lost mine or whatever. Asia Akira's Insatiable. This is a nonfiction book. This is a biography of Asia Akira, the adult film star. And I opened this book and just looked inside, and the first pages I entered made me blush. But I don't know if you've ever read biographies of adult film stars. They are so amazingly intriguing and so disturbing that everything about that is weird. And I thought, I've read a few, and they're just so interesting. Whether you're into the adult industry or not, the stories of what happens in that world is absolutely fascinating and incredibly disturbing. But so it's always worth a read. And I saw this one, and I had it, and I lost it, and I don't know where it went, but I got another copy, so I can hopefully read it someday. And now we're going to go into smutty westerns. I am collecting these and got a nice set of some of the ones I didn't have. See, this is why the table's easier. Easy Company. Easy Company and the Suicide Boys. These are, yes, smutty westerns. That's number 1. This is Easy Company number 12. And the Easy Company and the Bloody Flag. Number 13, Easy Company on the Oklahoma Trail. Didn't even realize I had these. I was going through the books that I got in, delivered. I guess I had done an eBay, and won these. And they were sitting there. I'm like, where did these even come from? That's how disorganized I am right now, trying to get my house back in order. Easy Company and the Big Blizzard, number 15. Easy Company and the Long Marches, number 16. Easy Company and the Card Sharps, number 18. Hopefully I don't have these or haven't shown these because, like I said, I found him in my batch of stuff that I was receiving. Easy Company and the Indian Doctor, that's number 19. And sometimes people will get my mail for me and put it places, and I don't know. But yeah, so those are some new sleazy western Easy Company books I'm going to add to my collection. I've got a bunch of them now. I've got probably at least half of the series. So, and finally, so here's a project I've been working on. I've been collecting them over time, and I finally have the entire set. I now have the entire set, the entire collection. And yes, I understand not only is it smutty, spicy, sleazy, but it's also culturally wrong, and I feel bad. I'm not saying I don't, but these books are out there, and somebody has to preserve them so that, that for future generations will understand how wrong this stuff was. And if I read them, it's only to educate myself. I have the entire run now of White Squaw. Smutty westerns involving a Indian princess, Native American princess. Sorry. This is number 15. Here Comes the Bride. They're not in order, so. Here is number 16, Redskin Rosebud. Yeah, these names are really insensitive and inappropriate. I 100% agree. 17, Bull-Whipped Beauty. 18, Hot Pursuit. No double entendres here. It's all innocent. I swear. We have number 19, Bad Man's Climax. Number 20, Bareback Beauty. No double entendres. I swear. She just rides her horse bareback. That's all that means. Number 21, Arizona Laydown. Wow. Number 22, Desert Climax. Number 23, Comanche Come Down. Number 24, Rough and Ready. Let's see. Number 13, Track Tramp. Number 14, Red Top Tramp. This poor girl. So inappropriate. Number 12, Ball and Chain. Number 11, Hot-Handed Heathen. They like their alliteration. Number 10, Solid as a Rock. No double entendres. Cut it out. Stop laughing. I'm not laughing. They're serious. Weirdos. Number 9, Twin Peaks or Bust. Let's see. Number 8, Horn of Plenty. Number 7, Abilene Tight Spot. Serious face. Serious face. Number 6, Dakota Squeeze. Number 5, Buckskin. Was it Buckskin Bombshell? Number 4, Hot Texas Tail. Number 3, Virgin Territory. I'm not believing it. Number 2, Boomtown Bust. And finally, number 1, Sue Wildfire. Sue is an Indian, not as a boy named Sue. So, now that I went through all the trouble of reading those, or buying those, and getting that collection, to save for posterity, because they are offensive. I know that. What am I going to do with them? Well, I'll probably read them. I'm thinking once I get some subscriber count up and it makes it enough to work it worth my while, I will expose the vile evilness in these books. Maybe next year I'll go through and do a read through and share with you how horrible these books are in a video series where I read through, turn all kinds of colors of red, and explain the plot to you and explain why they're so wrong, why they're culturally inappropriate, insensitive, and smutty, and should be banned, and they shouldn't be, why they should not be out there in the world for everyone to see. So I will go through and do that for you. I will go through and read them, and and explain to you all the evils that they contain. I think that's a plan. If you're with me, that's something I might look at doing going into 2026. If I'm going to put that kind of effort in, I want to get subscriber base up, so I have enough people to make it worth all the strife I will go through to read through those horrible, vile books, and and expose them for what they are to you, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm here for the community. I'm here to make everything better for all of you, so you don't have to read these, because I'll do it for you. I'll tell you what's going on. All right, so that is my weird little book haul. I will have my July book haul wrap up coming soon as I can get access to all my books, and hopefully that'll be up Friday night or Saturday morning. But anyway, check it out. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate your time. I love you guys. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe please. Appreciate it. That way, if I like I said, that if you subscribe, that I can get to reading these books, and you know, do a deep dive into the vile evilness of these culturally insensitive, sexually explicit books. They need to be exposed. Anyway, thank you. Like I said, subscribe, come back. Hope to see you again soon. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Remember, the secret to Zen: read books, pet dogs, listen to heavy metal, but not smutty books. Later.